What makes a legacy? Is it solely about championships, individual records, or endorsement deals? Or is there something more profound, a ripple effect that transforms the very landscape of a sport? In the world of NCAA basketball and the WNBA, the answer is never simple. And right now, we are witnessing a phenomenon unlike anything the game has ever seen. Love her or hate her, Caitlin Clark has detonated a bomb in the WNBA, and we are here to look at all the nuance that has come from it. The Indiana Fever is America's team, and the haters are going to be angry. Caitlin Clark is making WNBA teams abandon their arenas. They are bailing to make room for the Caitlin Clark effect. This statement, while provocative, highlights a fundamental truth. Caitlin Clark is driving unprecedented levels of attention to the WNBA, but let's not reduce this to a simple hater narrative. The underlying dynamic is far more complex. This is when NIL impacts the NCAA legacy and creates these clashes between athletes. The truth about the NCAA legacy is that it used to have strict restrictions which have now been removed, and it requires some time to figure out. Back in the late 1980s, when I was researching my dissertation on the rise of women's college basketball, I interviewed Myers Drysdale, a pioneer who paved the way for countless female athletes. She recounted the challenges of playing in a time when women's sports were often relegated to second-class status, lacking funding, media coverage, and even basic respect, and explained how these challenges help create the underdog mentality. This mentality is that there is always someone trying to take my spot, which can turn into an all-out war. 6 franchises are ditching their regular spots to move into NBA-level arenas because Clark is a one-woman sellout machine. This is a double-edged sword. While the increased attendance and revenue are undeniably positive for the WNBA, it also raises questions about the league's long-term sustainability and the potential for a widening gap between the haves and have-nots. Are teams relying too heavily on one player? And what happens when that player's star eventually fades? I believe that in the coming years that it is important to build players up and not pull each other down. We should allow players to rise and to thrive in their own spots to help the league to evolve. It is also my opinion that the NCAA legacy makes it hard for some players to change over. They have a certain type of mindset and it makes it hard to change over. However, there needs to be an attempt. 6 WNBA teams have moved their games to NBA or NBA-size arenas. Atlanta Dream moved 1 game to the State Farm Arena. Chicago Sky moved 2 games to the United Center. The Chicago Sky situation is particularly interesting, given the presence of Angel Reese, another highly marketable player. The Sky were trying to push the whole Angel Reese brand, but because of Caitlin Clark coming, the Sky had to use the brand Clark. And what happens to Angel? There goes that brand. It shows how brands can evolve, shift, and change, and nothing is for sure. I had a conversation with someone in Chicago that there are different fan bases there, but it can be hard to create any different fans with Clark and Reese on the team. With both Clark and Reese on the team, it can create different fans of each other, which can clash and not create an overall fan base of the team. Connecticut Sun moved 1 game to TD Garden. Dallas Wings have moved 1 game to American Airlines Center. The Mystics have 2 games moved to CFG Bank Arena. Connecticut's decision to move a game to Boston is a testament to Clark's drawing power even beyond established WNBA markets. A lot of these WNBA teams are trying to cash out and use the Clark effect to move their team. These teams may try to do their own thing, but it just won't work. The fact that these teams are trying this is really big. It will be hilarious to see how they all fail. Caitlin Clark comes to town, and it's not a basketball game, it's a fundraiser. Some analysts are calling her the WNBA's walking stimulus package. I think it would be great to move all the teams into NBA areas and move the attendance up. With this, it would be a win-win scenario. However, there is probably a contract with the WNBA teams that say they are not able to change venues or sizes. We have been able to see the women succeed in college. We have been able to create a women final for where it creates an extremely exciting event for women to participate in. Before Clark's rise, WNBA games averaged around 6,000 fans. Caitlyn is filling 20,000-seat arenas. Execs admitted they'd rather sacrifice home court advantage than miss out on the Caitlyn cash grab. This, quite frankly, is a problem because it highlights that the success of these teams does not depend on one or two athletes. If it does, it will be a house of cards and fall apart after a while. We must create NCAA Legacy so teams can strive and compete so that the WNBA stays. Clark is now booked for 41 national broadcasts this season. More national airtime than entire WNBA teams have had in the last decade combined. It's like they say, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. You can kind of see this unfold in the WNBA. This is because they are still trying to grow to attract more brands and more teams. As someone from the outside and analyzing these marketing campaigns, I have to say it's really not that good. The people I have seen at the WNBA are really poor. Even when they try to use the old methods that get views, they just don't. While Caitlyn Clark continues to dominate headlines, veteran stars are watching from the sidelines. They are not thrilled. It's impossible to deny that there's some level of frustration among veteran players. But let's not paint them all with the same brush. Some are genuinely excited about the increased attention Clark is bringing to the league, while others may feel overlooked or undervalued. And this is where the root of the NCAA legacy lies. If the WNBA has a cash cow, which I believe they have not gotten there yet, but the WNBA continues to try to get there. The biggest problem I see is not the cash cow, but the lack of management in the company. There needs to be a shift in how the top operates. It's objectively good for Rhea and A'ja Wilson, and there are still people complaining about this. This goes way beyond just bruised egos. This is about legacy. The bottom line is that every person and player has their own story. We should be able to support each story and see it the way it goes without tearing people down or telling them what to do. It just shows that the Caitlyn Clark boom is not ending. A'ja Wilson could be looking to improve her skills. The WNBA is forever changing. We need to give them some time to adapt to this new world. It all starts from the top and eventually makes its way to the bottom. But because of different people, it is hard to adapt to this new world. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you never miss out. Click the video on the screen. See you.